All right, good day, everyone. We are finishing up our term year for CEPA's 18th session. So my presidency today comes to an end. My name is Matthew Thomas. I have served as your president for this last year. Do want to tell everyone that it has been an honor. We have had a lot of great momentum and really happy to have been able to serve in this capacity. Really has been an honor, but none of that happens without the steadfast work of our members and our volunteers, including our committee members, our executive committee members, and our executive secretary. Everybody plays an integral role in keeping the CEP profession moving forward. So I first want to start by acknowledging that and thanking you all for the opportunity. For our business meeting setting today, really pretty straightforward. Our goals are to give you all just a bit of an annual review, try to keep it from getting too granular. We want to make sure that everyone knows what we have been working on, what is going on currently. And then toward the end, as we hand the gavel off to our next president-elect, Cassandra Ledman, we'll talk a little bit about looking forward. But we also have some important business today. So before we do the passing of the gavel, our attendees will have an opportunity to certify our election results. And again, this is a point where I'd like to pause and acknowledge those members who are rolling off their committee appointments. Many of our appointments are 2-year commitments. And again, as I've said and will reiterate consistently through this business meeting, we have a lot of great momentum, a lot of good initiatives that are ongoing and have come to a close that really have been championed by many individuals. So we thank everyone for their service and their engagement. If you are not actively volunteering in the association and you're thinking about it, this is a good time to make that plug as well. We need individuals to step up into these volunteer roles to help us move forward and to keep this momentum going. So we'll jump right in. First, acknowledge our sponsors. We're proud to have platinum level sponsors with MGC Diagnostics and VO2 Masters, and that's foundational for us to be able to maintain our website and our communications, as well as to partner and to move forward on other initiatives. So we thank them for their continued support. As a general summary of what we have accomplished over the last year, I could have went on for several slides, but I decided I wanted to hit some of the key items because we really have done so much and we have a lot of coals in the fire. But these are some of the items that I thought were worth highlighting for our membership for this past year because I think they really stand to be some of the more consequential items that we've been able to achieve. We have renewed several of our strategic partnerships with both our Australian and Canadian partners. These are strategic international collaborations that really support our journal, as well as help to give us a broader net and understanding of how CEPs are working across the globe. We can learn from our international partners and they from us. It also strengthens our voice and our contributions to our journal. So we're happy to report that we have signed MOUs with both of these partners, and those will last for the next coming term, which I believe are between 2 and 3 year agreements. So this is excellent. We've hit historic membership numbers. We'll talk more about that in a moment, but reiterates our momentum and our growth. We outlined our new strategic plan. So we'll go through that as well here in just a few minutes. But that was a big undertaking for the association to set what we plan to do and where we plan to go over the next 5 years. In conjunction with that, we've also become a mission and vision driven association. So with the strategic plan, we crafted a mission and vision, which we will outline for you all here. And hopefully you've probably seen a bit of over the past few months since that's gone live. We have tried to be more active in different respective communities. And so we always have a strong presence with our affiliate partner, with ACSM. But this past year, we broadened that view and went to AACVPR's annual conference. And I've also been doing much more with regional chapters with the ACSM, really just trying to be a little more prolific and forward facing to our members and new member potentials. We are finalizing our master service agreement with ACSM, helping to solidify and strengthen that partnership and ensuring that we are sustainable as an association as well as agile so that we can respond to the needs of our members and driving the CEP profession forward. And finally, we have worked very hard. Cassie's really been a champion of this, of establishing new SOPs or standard operating procedures. Because we are a volunteer organization, this sounds not that exciting, but really is mission critical. We have to be able to have good standard operating procedures so that when members roll off of respective duties, new people coming in know how to act, know how to get the work done, run things up the chain, and make decisions, and it keeps us sustainable as an organization. So we've put a lot of effort in with our respective committees to be able to get that done to ensure continuity and sustainability. So that's an annual summary, but we have a lot of ongoing business, and much of that is still in the works and will transition into Cassie's term. But one of the big ones is the review of our bylaws. This needs to be done regularly. We try to do this every 2 years, but we are just a bit delinquent on this note because of some major initiatives that we had to give our focus to. So happy to report that that work is coming to a conclusion. But again, this makes sure that we are sustainable and we evolve with our practices as an organization. But most importantly, it keeps us accountable and keeps us on the right track. We continue to focus on advocacy for our CEPs. This is principal to who we are. And so we continue to champion and look at how we can move forward to allow CEPs to become qualified healthcare professionals. We are getting the word out on programmatic accreditation. That is coming down the pipeline. So we have been very vocal with that, both supporting the respective accrediting bodies and giving them information, trying to partner with them, and also marketing and talking to our university and college academic partners to help them understand the importance of programmatic accreditation. And this really is a big one because we need to ensure that the academic preparation for CEPs is consistent so that employers can recognize the value that they bring to their respective organizations. So we continue to be a champion for this movement in partnership with ACSM, CCRB, and other accrediting bodies. We have been restructuring and continue to improve our governance position. And really what that means is we've been putting a really tight lens on who in the organization makes operational decisions and who helps steer more big picture initiatives. We're trying to work in such a way that we have a little bit of separation from those tasks so that again we can remain agile and responsive but also stay true to our strategic plan and move the association forward in the direction that our members and our EC board have determined. So, we continue to focus on strengthening CEPA and trying to get recognition for the volunteerism that our members put in. So we are working with ACSM and the CCRB to try to get the recognition for CECs for those respective positions. So for some of our committee chairs, our presidents, our EC board members, we believe that they bring a lot of value to not only our association, but as an ACSM affiliate, we believe that they bring value to ACSM at large. And so we're working on an initiative to have that recognized. As we mentioned previously, we've worked really hard on our master service agreement or MSA with the ACSM, and this puts in our operational terms, what decisions we can make, where we need to consult and work directly with ACSM, and make sure that we remain productive yet agile. And we're down to final drafts and looking to sign that MSA very soon. There's a lot of work has gone into that over the past, actually 3 presidents' terms to make sure that we have a equitable product. And we're happy to report that although that's almost finished, we still do need to put the signatures on that page. And then finally, we are working on the completion of a scope of practice document, which we do believe is going to be imperative to allow healthcare to recognize not only the value of CEPs, but also to understand where and how they should be compensated for their respective work by outlining and putting the documentation out there that they can reference. So that is ongoing and a big focus that we have now. So again, for both our general review and ongoing initiatives, I have to emphasize that this is, 10,000-foot view. There are lots and lots of smaller initiatives going on respectively with our committees. But due to a time, we really wanted to focus this down on some of the key elements that have been achieved and are ongoing at present. We'll move now into awards and recognition. First and foremost, we want to congratulate our 2026 Randy Light Award recipient. Um, Dr. Headley from Springfield College was given this award. And just to point out, the Randy Light Award is given in the honor of individuals who bring a significant impact to the field of clinical exercise physiology. So this was announced at our annual conference, but again, we want to reiterate the contributions that Dr. Headley has brought to our field, not only as a player for CEPs and their training, but also what he's done within our association to help us move forward and grow stronger. So we recognize his contributions over this past year. We added two new fellows this past year, Paul Gallo and Rebecca Kappas. And so we congratulate them on that achievement as well and coming into the fellowship ranks. This is also a good time to encourage you to look at our website, look at the application process, and consider your application and putting in your application rather for fellowship status because those are announced each year. And we want to celebrate and thank our outgoing executive secretary, Wanda Koester. Wanda has been integral in the growth and sustainability of CEPA over the last 15 years and beyond. She's been around since the inception, and she has been essential to our growth. She has really held the hands of numerous presidents, guided us through successive terms, and she's just been a continued champion for CEPs and most importantly, our association. Wanda is the reason that we are still operating today. So I cannot emphasize enough how much she has done behind the scenes to ensure that we have good communications with our sponsors, with ACSM, that we are abiding to our bylaws, remaining accountable. I could go on and on. Wanda has made the decision to transition outside of this role, but will still remain engaged and involved with CEPA. But we thank her for her sincerely thank her for her service. It's been extraordinary, and we're excited to welcome Brittany Overstreet as our new executive secretary. And those two have been working hand in hand. I know we're in good hands with Brittany, but we thank Wanda for her service and everything that she's done. And I know will continue to do as she is a important point of reference for us as we move forward through this transition. She's been so helpful. So when you see her, when you have interactions with her, please thank her for everything she's done for CEPA because she really has been a guiding hand for the last many years. And now we transition to financial review. Well, this one's fun because we get to report that CEPA is very financially healthy. So looking at our financial health on the left, you can see from June of last year to June of this year, we have had about a 42% growth in our strategic reserves. And this is a net change. So these are funds that are available for us for investment respective initiatives. As we continue to creep forward and better understand what it is going to take to allow CEPs to become qualified healthcare professionals, we recognize the importance of building these strategic reserves. We want to look at investment opportunity, whether that is legislative efforts and lobbying, partnerships and collaboration, We're very fortunate to have sound strategic reserves at this point so that we can keep our association afloat, so that we can invest with our collaborative partners. But most importantly, we can cast our vision forward and be able to improve our position. So that is an exciting place to be. And we're very fortunate to have strong membership, a strong annual conference, and good educational materials that have grown. All three have grown over the last year to put us in this healthy position. So thank you to all of our members for your contributions on all three of those fronts. We will be looking for future goals in the upcoming year to use those monies to support our initiatives. So we're looking for opportunities, better transparency with our financials, and that starts with how we report to our members. So you'll see changes there. We are working on getting better coding for our budget so that we can look in at a little better detail to ensure that our money is streaming in the right way and we can plan better. And we're also building stronger policies for what we do with these reserves to make sure that those monies are growing and can be reinvested for future initiatives. But the bottom line up front, we're in a financially healthy position and are focused on reinvestment to strengthen our position as an association. We'll now transition to some key committee updates. And I do want to say this is not exhaustive. All of our committees are hard at work, but at different levels and different times of the year, depending on initiatives and directions from our EC board and our president's group. Some things come forward with these groups at other time than others. So if a committee is not listed, that is by no means a suggestion that they are not contributing. Again, we try to bring strategic updates to this annual report. So we start with our strategic planning committee. This is the fourth strategic plan iteration that has been issued, and this one will take our direction through 2030. So you can see the committee members here. They worked really hard to put a sound strategic plan in place. And strategic plans are sometimes difficult because you have to look back as well as look forward. So we really had to dive in and see what we have achieved, determine what's realistic, and look at the current state of affairs and the evolution of how CEPs are practicing. There has been an evolution over the last few years, so re-engaging and resetting that direction is always important, but the group did a great job. In conjunction with that, they were also given the task of moving us toward a mission and vision driven association. So a subcommittee spun off to build that mission and vision. And here are those statements. And so these are important position statements. The mission and the vision are what we will continue to look back to as our compass or our true north to ensure that all the initiatives and the decisions that we make are focused on advancing our education, advocacy, professional development, and keep us from getting distracted and off the mark. And so we felt strongly that the mission and vision really had to be the guiding light rather for the strategic plan. So those are in place. They're on our website now, and you'll be seeing these much more forward in discussions and communications as we proceed and as we grow. The strategic plan from a high level really had five elements: membership growth and representation, financial infrastructure and strength, professional development and advancement, organizational infrastructure and support, and contributions and influence. And you can see on the screen and also on our website, we have the strategic plan posted, some of the minutia that goes into these five categories, but this allows us to set goals for ourselves. Again, we want to be able to see growth in the association so we can achieve what we're setting out to do. We want our net worth to be strong. We want to be advocates and provide new opportunities, and whether that's in education or standardizing job titles and descriptions to improve the position of CEPs across the country. We need to have this strategic plan in place as a reference document for the decisions that we're making as an association so that we can be effective. So if you have not taken the opportunity to digest our strategic plan, this really came with strong membership feedback. So I would encourage you to do that. so that you can see how the association is working on your behalf and where we plan to go over the next 5 years. Next, our Career Resource Committee has been very active. They've enhanced mentorship and career development. That's their purpose, right? And so they have strengthened our presence at ACSM regional meetings. Um, they have done a lot of virtual networking. In fact, they're hosting 6 virtual networking nights for students by the end of this year, and where they're really trying to get engagement and get our association goals, strategies out in front of our emerging members. And then additionally, they have done a great job with our job share board to ensure that we're putting CEP jobs out there and getting the marketing strength to associations and other organizations. So great job. But these are some highlights of what Career Resources is doing. Very active group. They're always working on the job shares. They're always networking, and they've done a phenomenal job in positioning CEPA as a strong affiliate organization and getting the word out there on what we're doing. Credentials and Ethics Committee has focused on a student mentorship program this past year and run a pilot within Salisbury University. Um, and this program has been a pilot where we match CEPs with CEPA fellows to have mentorship for their continued growth, not only within CEPA but as CEPs in general. This group also takes care of our fellowship approvals. So they are the committee rather, that is looking at these applications and ensuring that our fellowship program is strongly positioned and candidates meet the required recommendations. And they also are the group that oversees the Randy Light Lifetime Achievement Award and issued that to Dr. Sam Headley this past year. Conference Planning Committee, can't say enough about the great job that this group does. A lot goes into planning our conference, even though it is virtual and they don't have to, travel on site and book hotels and do some of those logistics. The organization that is required to call for abstracts, review those abstracts, make sure that they're scientifically significant, go through presentation topics, align speakers, ensure that the technology is working. It's a big lift. And so we're grateful for this committee, and they put us in a really strong position this past year, really raised the bar, which we will continue to try to do year over year. But they're supporting our mission, and the presentation this topics this past year were really strong, and we believe relevant to the evolution of the field and the growth that we're seeing. So topics on heart failure and LVADs, brain health, AI and exercise prescription, postpartum gestational diabetes. Uh, we work to really highlight where and how and the topics that CEPs are using and not keep that restricted to any one domain. So kudos to the conference planning committee for the diversity of topics and a great conference that they put on this past year. We've learned a lot, and we will continue to build off of their successes. Advocacy committee. They are doing a lot with program outreach. Again, talking about accreditation statuses, programmatic accreditation, um, starting initiatives for future outreach with high school guidance counselors, getting the word out on the CEP profession. And this is important work. I don't like much of healthcare. We are starting to see a shortage in CEPs. And, this group is doing a great job ensuring that we have a solid future and we continue to build on our foundations. They're leading strong discussions around the importance of programmatic accreditation. So these are the frontline committee getting the information out on the importance of universities and colleges accrediting their professionals and all around bringing strong impact to the CEP field. So we appreciate all their efforts. Marketing committee, always busy as well. So they're doing a lot with our social media presence, making sure that we're getting the word out to our current members and potential members. So they've brought this, they've increase the cadence and strategic promotions of the journal as well. So strengthening our journal is a strategic priority to ensure that we have sound science, but also that CEPs have a home to put out their research. They have done a lot with World CEP Day, advocating there, as well as getting the word out for our annual meeting. Um, we have put a lot of focus this past year on strengthening what we call our child page. And what that means is through ACSM's main website, can clinical professionals find the CEPA homepage? And so they've done a lot with quarterly blogs and interest articles to kind of drive that type of engagement. And we have seen strong growth in individuals coming to our website looking for materials, resource documents, as well as membership. So that's attributed to our marketing focus. Um, and they also brought the first exhibit booth to AACVPR. Um, so great work from them, and ongoing work that they have going right now is kind of relooking at our brand, making sure that we're staying relevant with brand discussions. So looking at our logo design and other visuals to ensure that we have a strong position and recognition with all these respective mediums. The Virtual Ventures Oversight Committee has been busy as well. This is a newer committee to our association. Um, but one that we feel is imperative and obviously important moving forward as we see CEPs navigating into the virtual space. So this group has been tasked with helping the education of some of the virtual partners in this space to ensure that job descriptions align with what healthcare standards are. But they've put on a really strong showing in a virtual panel that we did, I think just about 2 months ago. Is not long, but talking about advocacy and standardizing the CEP roles, how to, practically deliver care in this setting for CEPs and keep people safe and have strong education, et cetera. And they're also developing a CEP toolkit. And so this toolkit will, strategically help CEPs be recognized more within the field, but also help them set up strong telehealth policies, understand reimbursement and general scope of practice. So as the field evolves and we see the organizations move to virtual delivery for these respective programs, this group is playing a critical role in ensuring that we have a direction for those CEPs and we have continuity across those roles across the country. So we're appreciative of their work. Continuing education. Well, they've brought a lot to the table this year, a variety of educational topics, including traditional webinars. We've done more panel offerings this year, and also they're integral in sharing our webinars with ACSM, which strongly expands our reach. This committee has grown and really have had to have more hands on deck because of the offerings that we're bringing, but the offerings have been robust, they've been beneficial, and I think they're really driving some of the strong value to our membership directly. So they continue to try to bring broad topics for us, um, including yearly bundles. But most importantly, we're trying to engage with our student members, our emerging professionals, and ensuring that CEPs have a place to get continuing education that is relevant to their practice specifically. We believe that we have built a real strong continuing education presence, but this group has done a fantastic job over the last year, and I know with things that are coming down the pipeline, it's only going to continue to improve and push us forward as an association. So this is a big value add for our members. You can see some of the educational offerings and topics that we've given over this last year, from ECG all the way to exercise oncology and our virtual panels, workplace wellness, spirometry, blood pressure, and you can see a bit about the registration and numbers there too. So these are highly sought after and desirable offerings and occurring pretty much every month of the year. So again, a big thanks and kudos to this group for organizing this. It takes a lot of planning and organization to get this done. Membership. Well, there it is. Year over year, we're in a much stronger position than we were last year. Uh, this will be the second consecutive year that we have seen strong growth in our numbers, and I cannot emphasize enough. If you don't take anything else away from this annual review, we need the numbers. We have to have a presence to be able to talk to legislation, to talk to hospital associations, both at the state and federal level, to talk to Medicare insurance partners and tell them what CEPs do, the importance that we bring to healthcare. We have to have a presence. And that presence is an imperative to be able to have a seat at some of the collaborative tables to move forward our initiatives for qualified healthcare professionals, improvements in reimbursement. So just by being an active member in our association, you're doing your part. So we appreciate everyone who has come to us in this past year. There will no doubt be new members listening to this for the first time, hoping that you're seeing the value from your membership, from continued education, initiatives that we have ongoing. But this is a robust improvement, and we've exceeded our growth projections, and we hope to do that next year as well. So this is a fantastic sign of our growth. So now we move to our election results. So for those who are here with us today, in just a moment, you're going to see a poll come through, but we have to verify these results. So for our new president-elect will be Kate Kern, Secretary Kim Bryan, Member at Large Sadie Engelken, and our other Member at Large position, Paul Gallo. So again, we thank the individuals that are rolling off from these positions and the job that they have done this last year, and we welcome these new members. But we will put the poll up now, and we need to certify these results. So you'll be able to do that in the poll question that you see come through in just a moment. All right, we'll give that about 10 more seconds. All right, and we will record these results. Looks like we have a 96% confirmation, 0% rejections, and 4% or one abstention. So appreciate everyone for verifying these results, and we're excited to have these individuals contribute in the coming two-year term. Another important plug is to consider, if you have not, applying for one of these roles in future years. We are very fortunate to have a very strong pool of candidates. And for the individuals who were not elected, I hope that that is never a discouragement, and rather that's encouraging, that we have a lot of strong talent to draw from. And we look for those individuals to hopefully re-engage in next year's elections or other committees, volunteer positions, all of which you can find on our website. We're always in need of more hands to advance this important work that we're doing. So thank you all. And finally, it's time for me to pass the gavel. It's been a fun year. It really has been an honor. I could not have done it without the help of many hands, right? But now I get to introduce your 19th president of the Clinical Exercise Physiology Association, Ms. Cassandra Ledman. Cassie, it's all yours. Enjoy. I don't have a real gavel to give you, so we're going to have to do the symbolic one.
All right, accepted. All right, good morning, everyone. I'm, first of all, incredibly honored and humbled to step into this role as the 19th CEPA president. I believe many of you know me, but to ensure that's the case, I will do a brief introduction, and then throughout the next few minutes, I'll share with you my vision and where I hope to take CEPA this next year. So I am Cassandra Ledman, a clinical associate professor at Purdue. I'm an ACSM clinical exercise physiologist and an NBHWC health and wellness coach. I'm also a fellow of our organization that I've called a professional home for quite a while now. You can proceed. All right, so before I share with you about this next year, I must do the honor of giving a big thanks to Matt Thomas for his leadership this past year. So thank you for the work that you have done this last year. We all know it is not easy, and much of it has happened behind the scenes. So many of the members and others don't even fully see everything that transpires. So you've already mentioned a bunch of this throughout the business meeting so far. So in summary, some of those bigger things, right, are that governance restructuring, strategic planning, fighting for our autonomy in the MSA, with ACSM, keeping that membership growing, and ultimately advancing our outreach and visibility. So these things matter enormously for the long-term health of our organization. And I think you've positioned CEPA to move forward for a stronger foundation. And I don't take that lightly. So thank you, Matt. All right, so this captures just a little bit about my professional journey. So coming into this president as a CEP first is the thing I want to make sure is very clear. Although I am a clinical professor at present, I did start in the clinic working and advancing myself across many clinics and hospitals. As you can see with the little timeline here, I started in cardiac and pulmonary rehab at Lutheran Hospital, then the Cleveland Clinic, where I was able to specialize more with heart failure and heart transplant patients. Then I came back to where I did my graduate work at IU Health Ball, where I was charged with some other responsibilities and leading some of our LVAD and heart failure policies and procedures. And I've spent over a decade at the bedside before transitioning into higher education at Purdue. And now I do direct our clinical exercise physiology concentration and the health and wellness coaching program. But within my roles, I am still able, thankfully, to work as an exercise physiologist, completing our exercise testing, with some of our athletic programs in our Ismail Center, and as a health and wellness coach in our exercises medicine on campus program for both students and faculty and community members. So I'm blessed to have the ability to teach our next generation of CEPs and to continue working a bit in the profession myself. So you can advance. So what about my CEPA journey? That's probably the most important thing, right? So that started about 10 years ago officially, where I became an official member. My grad school advisor had reached out to me, and I became a member, and then quickly was put into committee work, starting with what used to be combined continuing ed and conference planning committee. I spent a good amount of time working with that group, and then Wanda and the president's council at that time charged me with leading a few initiatives like the internship directory, for example, which worked alongside some of the other committees. And then a few years following that, after dabbling in those roles, I was elected as a member at large position on the executive committee from 2022 to 2024. Immediately following that, I jumped into that accreditation consultant role. It paralleled very well with my role at the university and connections with COES. And then during that time frame, I also was able to become fellow of our organization and present at our annual conference on behavior counseling, and utilizing that within our profession as a CEP. And now, as you all are aware, I'm officially beginning my transition from president-elect to president. So I feel like in sum, I've been building toward this role for a while now without really knowing it, but I am excited to continue advancing our profession and organization moving forward. Okay, so the intention of this slide was for you to get to know me a little bit beyond like title and credentials. So as you saw on my previous slide, I'm a Purdue undergraduate, earned my master's in clinical exercise physiology from Ball State, which has been the case for a lot of our leaders with CEPA. Worked clinically for more than a decade, but then I was able to return to Purdue about 10 years ago. So my journey has kind of come full circle with that, and as well with this with CEPA. So throughout my career, I very much have become a builder, where I've had the opportunity to develop our clinical exercise physiology concentration from its inception at Purdue. Then I was charged with creating our health and wellness coaching specialization, which is now a accredited program with the NBHWC. We've established an exercises medicine referral program within Purdue's network, and now we're working towards accreditation as well. So what I've learned through this, though, is that this meaningful progress takes a lot of collaboration, a lot of hands in the game takes vision and it takes a willingness to do the work. I continue to be a learner throughout my time. I'm actually finishing up my PhD work right now, which is in experiential education and how we prepare future health professionals through applied experiences. So this does influence how I teach, how I mentor, and I develop programs, and will hopefully be a contribution to my role as CEPA president as well. I've had the privilege of leading some of our study abroad experiences and actually just came back a couple days ago from Ireland. So these experiences are helping me see what makes better clinicians and better CEPA or CEP professions. So perhaps most importantly, I'm still a practitioner. I continue to work with clients through assessments, testing, and health wellness coaching. So the clinic has never left me and never will. And I share all this with you because when I show up for CEPA, I show up as a whole person who takes this organization and profession very seriously. And this profession has shaped who I am. And serving as your president is both a privilege and a responsibility that I do take very seriously. All right, so my vision for this coming year, this was a fun thing to try to create. It is to strengthen CEPA from the inside out to continue building a more cohesive, collaborative, high-functioning organization, while of course still advancing our clinical exercise physiology profession through our accreditation efforts, greater recognition in healthcare, and reimbursement and marketability that our members deserve. So the inside out piece here matters to me because we can't advocate effectively for our members externally if we're not functioning well internally. So this year is about both, like, I guess, getting our house in order, which Matt has had an excellent start to. So I just hope to be able to continue with that and actually implementing all these plans that we have designed to help us be strong internally and use that strength to help us push the profession forward. And finally, last slide. A couple goals for the coming year. I'll wrap up what my little introduction here by sharing some of my goals for the next year. I tried to put these into a few different categories, and I came up with 5 categories. First, organizational structure and collaboration, which I spoke to a bit already. We're going to build on the governance work Matt started and make sure that our EC functions as like a unified team with clear communication and shared accountability. Second, accreditation. The KHEP and COAS accreditation is coming into our field. Many programs aren't maybe ready for it. I know I'm coming from one that is trying to get ready for it. So I feel CEPA needs to be a resource to our members and continue to assist members in academic programs to figure out how to navigate this. Third, visibility and marketability, which I think we're doing a great job improving. I just think we need to continue to be consistent, compelling, like our message about who the CEP is, what we bring to healthcare, including that element of reimbursement that we all know that our profession deserves. Fourth is membership growth and engagement. Again, Matt just showed some of the growth that's happened over this last year. So to continue to being intentional with our pathways for early career professionals and students, really trying to hone in on that group to make sure we are recognizing and representing them as well. And fifth, but not last, strategic partnerships. So I would like to bring some alignment with the other industries that I serve within that are very parallel, which would be health and wellness coaching and lifestyle medicine. So those 2 organizations, and health and wellness coaching has a CPT billing code at present. Lifestyle medicine is a growing field. So organizations like the American College of Lifestyle Medicine and the National Board of Health and Wellness Coaches could be really great relationships for us to be able to expand upon to help continue to grow our profession and to better serve our members. So in all, I'm excited, I'm ready, I'm grateful for the trust that you are placing in me. So let's make some progress together.
You got this, Cassie. Appreciate
Thanks.
the overview and excited to still be side by side with you this coming year and on my way out, and excited to bring Kate in to work with us. We've got a strong group. We've had a lot of great succession, so many good years of successive presidents. I know you're going to do a fantastic job, so we appreciate you. All right, everyone. Well, it's pretty much Cassie's show now. We have set a couple minutes aside. If anyone has any questions, you can drop those. I believe you actually have a spot 4 questions. Those will go to our moderator and they can be directed to us. I know this is very much overview style presentation, but if you have any questions, now would be a great time to get those in. We'll pause here for about 20, 30 seconds to see if any come through. We'll answer those and then we'll wrap up this business meeting, and I'll let Cassie take it forward for the next term. Give you all about 15 more seconds to see if there's any questions. All right, and not seeing any come through, but you can always reach us through the website, through our CEPA email handle. If you have any questions or concerns with anything that was posted here, do believe that we will have this recording available as well to review. But just to reiterate, we've had a really strong year. We have a lot of good things in the pipeline. We're in great hands with Cassie's leadership. We verified these election results with new leaders coming in, and we're just excited to keep this momentum going. So thank you everyone for your attendance today. We'll give you about 10 minutes back. Happy to do that. And we appreciate you all. We hope to continue to represent you in the best way that we can. And I know we're in good hands going forward. So thank you. Have a good day.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.